Hey everyone, welcome to this video. I am really excited to interview Scott Sillari, who is owner and CRO of Real Synch, who are basically specialists in integrations and workflows for real estate. So Scott, welcome. Thank you for taking your time so we can learn a little bit more about you and your company.
Yeah, you got it, Elena. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so just to start out, giving us a little bit of background, can you give us an overview of what Real Sync is and its mission for the real estate industry?
Yeah, so RealSync was founded, God, 2016, 2017. And really the idea behind that was there was really no middleware. I mean, there was like no APIs in the real estate space with the softwares that people were using at the time. And so my business partner had spent almost $1 million trying to build an all-in-one with like Salesforce. And when he was talking to a lot of different product managers, like, man, you're never going to be able to keep up. Like, there's always going to be new technologies coming out. The way to approach this is to build your tech stack with different systems you want to be using and to integrate them so that you can, flow data seamlessly from, one application to another. And then you're building, your ultimate system, with 3 or 4 or 5 different systems, right? So that was really the idea that started RealSync, and then we've been going down this path ever since of building a really great middleware product to where we can integrate all the different applications that mainly like real estate agents and teams are using in the space. And our mission around that is to just build an amazing product that is supportive to the real estate, the operation side, the system side, to help agents and teams be more effective and productive with their time by being able to connect all their systems and not have to, do data entry and all these different mundane tasks that you would have labor doing.
Yeah, and I know a really popular tool. There's a couple out there that agents use. One's Zapier, or however you want to pronounce the name, or Make.com. So I'm curious. I'm sure you know that some people might say RealSync's a little bit comparable to Zapier, but can you share what sets RealSync apart from DIY tools like Zapier?
Yeah, so I think that there's a few things that set us apart from Zapier. Make is really almost a developer tool, so you'd have to really understand what you're doing in a sense to take yourself all the way through setting up an integration with Make. But Zapier, if you have a little knowledge, you can use it. It can get tricky as you get into filtering and things like that. Our solution compared to Zapier is meant to be seamless for the agent to come in and just, within 4 easy clicks, they can activate an integration, and all the filters are pre-built. So with Zapier, if you're trying to get all the data from one app to another, you may have to set up, 5, 10, 15 different zaps. You may have to do a zap for every user because it might not include a whole host of of your admin users that are underneath that particular system. Where with RealSync, we build that all into the integration. So when you connect, let's say Follow Up Boss to RealSync and then to another application, we're taking in every user that you have in your Follow Up Boss, and automatically they're included within that integration. So and then also I think the other thing is, like, we just go a lot deeper with the integrations. Like, we're working with agents to identify like how they would be using that particular system, to make sure that we're pre-building all the filters that would make sense for that particular use case, and how you'd be using, Dot Loop or Follow Up Boss or, Fellow or Conversion Monster, some of these other applications. Like, how are you using those, and what makes sense when it comes to triggers and data flow between a CRM and that particular system. So I think we're just more insightful to real estate, particularly with our integrations compared to Zapier, where, what's amazing about Zapier is it's, there's 5,000 integrations they have now, or connections, but they're very wide and they're in all different industries. So they're not necessarily specific to real estate, and that's where we focus.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So earlier you mentioned you help reduce a lot of manual, repetitive tasks, repetitive data entry, and you just mentioned a couple of softwares that you integrate with. But can you share some examples of different solutions you've created to help remove a lot of the double entry and manual work?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the main partners we've had for a long time was Sisu. That is a good example of, if you don't have integration, you're just entering in your KPI numbers and transactions into a solution. So it's a lot of manual data entry. So we solved that problem by being able to seamlessly flow, agent activity and transaction data from CRMs into Sisu. Another one would be Fellow is a good example. I mean, it's a newer solution that we've been partnering with, and they're having customers, re-opt in essentially for a home value. And so, if that data was just sitting in their system and not back in your CRM, it's kind of useless, right? Like you need real-time data on that. So we're taking that submission and what they're interested in, the homes they're looking at, and putting that data right back into a Follow Up Boss or a Boomtown or Sierra or whatever. So just a couple examples. Another integration we built is a Google Contacts integration. And really we meant to build that for, you add someone to your phone and you can shoot it in the Follow Up Boss, let's say, as long as you add the email. So we kind of put that in there to make sure that you're getting, good data in the Follow Up Boss. But things like that, where it's like, you're out in the, it seems very simple sometimes, but when you are in the real world and you're out at an event, you're out doing something and you're putting someone in your phone, to have to go back and remember to put them in Follow Up Boss and like add a reminder and a task, you're doing the work twice, right? And so the idea is, how can we build that bridge and then just make it a little bit more efficient? And if you do that over and over and over again with all the different tech, now you've really saved yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. So I know that a lot of solo agents and team owners, they are already very busy and they haven't necessarily had the time to really sit down and figure out what they need help with. So a lot of times, I'm sure you talk with someone who say, I know I need this, but I also don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
So does RealSync sort of help people figure out what is actually going to help benefit them? Do you do some sort of audit of their systems? Can you share like how does that process work of working with someone?
Yeah. So if someone comes to us, we do offer services as well, right? Like our main, obviously, RealSync is a software integration product, right? But we do offer services, and I think that kind of gestated out of me getting calls with a lot of people and just realizing they don't know what they need, or they don't know what they don't know, and they're not up to speed on what's like new technology and what's available, like who else in the industry can help them. That's why we have such a great partnership, is that with Key Technologies, I can, I know what you guys do amazingly, and I can refer people, right? And vice versa. And it's like, when a client comes to us, I talk them through their systems, right? And like, and sometimes they're way up here and they have no idea, and you have to really work with them and kind of understand the big picture. What are their goals, and kind of work down to what they should be using. And then I make recommendations, what I think. A lot of times I'll get on calls with people and I don't think they should even work with us because it's not a good fit, and there's other companies that can support what they're actually looking for. So it's, again, it's like a discovery call. It's really identifying whether or not I can help or someone else can help within the different communities that we're associated with. And it's all about, for us, is supporting the businesses and the real estate businesses, right? That's, when you asked me earlier, like what our mission is, I think that, that really defines what it is. It's like, if I can get in a call with someone, even if it doesn't benefit me personally, if I can help them make better decisions for their business, that's where we're coming from. That's where our support comes from, is that we're always willing to get on the phone and talk to people and help them make the best decisions for their business, because it can be very overwhelming with the amount of technologies that are out there, and so if I can be a little bit of a guide, point them in the right direction, have them check out certain things. One of the biggest things I always recommend now is that if you're signing up for a system that doesn't have an open API or it's not building an API, like do not do it. That's my like number one piece of advice. At this point in the real estate space, they should be having integration and connections, whether it's direct or have a Zapier available or something to where you can, because at some point with that system, you're going to realize it's not doing everything you need and you need to connect it to something else. And if that's not available, that's no bueno.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And not just in the real estate space, but really today in any space. If you're going to be with the times, it needs to be open API with anything you use. I was just taking a look at your website before this call, and I saw, there's tons of amazing reviews from real estate professionals that have worked with Real Synch. Off the top of your head, can you think of a specific success story or case study that sort of highlights the benefits of what y'all do?
Yeah, there's a couple, right? It's funny, most of those reviews, I think it's interesting, are people that cancel our service, right? And the reason I bring that up is because they gave us a review because they got an amazing experience while they used our service, but sometimes you don't need to keep using it because you don't need to integrate the two apps. Maybe you cancel one of the applications and you don't need RealSync anymore. So, I think that's a testament to how we, really work and support our clients. But there's one client in particular, Misty Solwich. She's oh God, I think she's out of Iowa. I always forget, but she's a good friend. I've worked for a long time when I was working with other companies within the space. I worked at a company called Viral Marketing for a long time. And so I've been working with agents for almost 12 years now. But Misty came to me and she had all these different problems. And, I was able to, we were able to jump in and solve a lot of her automation, mainly a lot of like obscure lead parses that she needed to get set up. And a lot of people try to do them themselves, but the reality is sometimes you have to use mail parser IO to Zap and then to your CRM, and it can get a little tricky with filters and when you're trying to get the right data in. And so she started working with me, and then we also connected like a multitude of different systems. And as we went through that process, one of the things that she said to me, she says, Scott, like working with you opened my eyes to how I look at technology when I add it into my business, because I look at it as if can I add this and what data am I going to actually get out of and extract it and put into my CRM? And then what data am I going to want to push back? I started looking through that lens when I add technology or do anything now within my business when I'm adjusting my system. So I think, having a conversation with someone like you or me, if you're a team owner and really just, thinking about your technology differently, it can help you just having a consult, and I think that was a really, hearing that, it really like kind of opened my eyes of like, wow, yeah, I'm so grateful that I'm able to help people, start looking at their business a little bit differently,
So can you share what's on the horizon for Real Synch? What are you working on? Is there any new developments?
Yeah, there's a few things I can share. I'm glad you asked, because we've literally been rebuilding our entire application for the last 9 months on the back end and front end. And man, it's gonna be awesome. And it's really gonna not, so the main reason was we just needed a better back end solution for the integrations to make sure there was less issues and bugs and making it more seamless. And then also we're gonna be able to add new applications to our platform within days rather than weeks or a month of development work. So for us, being able to do that and have a roadmap of adding multiple apps per week and maybe adding like 10 a month is just a lot. It's just going to help a lot more teams, and it helps us grow and scale more quickly. So that was the main reason we built the app. But also there's going to be a whole new UI and UX experience for the user. Our old app is very clunky, to say the least. We needed something new, so that should be getting released hopefully in Q1. We're aiming for Q1, but there's going to be some really cool things that I can talk about. There's a couple things I cannot talk about yet, but one of the things I can talk about is we're going to have a a data storage and migration solution within Real Synch's product. So the difference of what we do now is if you come in and sign up for Real Synch, you have to connect one app to another. With our new platform, you'll be able to come in the Real Synch and just connect Follow Up Boss to Real Synch, or Boomtown to Real Synch, or Dotloop to Real Synch, or QuickBooks Online to Real Synch. You're connecting to our platform first, and then we can back up your data if you want and store it for you on a cycle. And then so you have access to it and you can move it anywhere. Additionally, we're going to have a migration tool feature to where we can extract data, let's say from Follow Up Boss's API, and you want to go put it into Sierra's. You can connect both those systems and hit a button and literally migrate all the data within seconds. So that's a really cool tool that we're going to be offering as well. We have some more things that we are doing that I can't really talk about, that will be part of the initial release as well. But Real Synch's going to be bringing a lot more value and a lot more, solutions to the real estate teams in space in early 2024, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
Very good. So last question for you. If someone wanted to learn more about Real Synch and maybe wanted to book a call, what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, Scott@realsync.com, or go to our website, hit schedule a consult. It all goes to my Calendly, and you can book a call with me, 30 minutes. We'll hop on a call, chit chat, see if I can help you. If not, all good. If I can, great. If not, I'll send you to Elena. She can help you. But no, yeah, just shoot me an email at Scott@realsync.com. That's SYNCH.com. We had to add the H because someone had a domain with the C and wanted $10,000, and we said no thanks.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Just anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Scott. I'm sure people will find this helpful. There's always a need for integrations and tech stacks, and there's this very much new approach to real estate as being more fragmented. So there's a bigger need for this today than ever before. So I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful day, everyone. I appreciate it.